Hey guys, Chris from Metal and Earth back again, part 3 of our Chicken 101 schmaltz today. For those of you who don't know, schmaltz is rendered chicken fat, and it's used for sautéing, for cooking, spreading on toast. It's traditionally from the Jewish cuisines in Northern Europe, but it's a great economical way to have some good healthy cooking fat in your kitchen and to use up the rest of your chicken. So we've got our meat left over from our butchery. Our chicken breasts, our chicken legs. We've got all of our kind of scrap fat and meat here and skin. Basically all we're going to do with this is cut it up into a little bit smaller pieces. It renders a little bit easier. So I'm just going to, carefully keep my fingers out of the way. Just cut it up. It doesn't have to be into any kind of fancy, just cut it up into a little bit smaller pieces so it renders a little easier. So we've just got our chicken fat here. We're going to take that, we're going to put it into a real small pan. Like that. And I always add just a splash of water. It just kind of helps it get it going so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And I mean a splash, literally like, that's it. So we got maybe a quarter teaspoon. And we're just going to pop that over on the stove over the lowest heat possible. I actually use a heat diffuser and we'll show you that in a minute. And after 45 minutes, you're going to get this wonderful fat like this. We'll strain it in. And this is some schmaltz that I've rendered from some other chickens. But it's a nice, really soft, really golden yellow fat. Great for sautéing potatoes or vegetables. Really fantastic. And actually really healthy if you use a good quality organic pasture-raised chicken. So let's go over to the stove and we'll get this on and show you where we're going. Alright, so we're going to take our schmaltz. We're over at the stove now, and I use a heat diffuser. This is just, you can buy this at any kind of food cooking store, and basically all it does, some have holes, some are solid, and this actually lowers the heat of your flame. I've got a pretty high burning stove here, so I use this to kind of keep the flame low. You want this on the lowest possible heat because we don't want to cook this into crispy bits. We actually want it to slowly melt the fat. So I'm just going to put this on a low heat, as low as it goes, which you can barely see the flame, which is perfect. Put our diffuser on. We're going to put our little pan with our schmaltz, or our chicken fat on, and we're just going to leave it here. We may stir it every couple minutes, just as it starts to render out the fat, and then we're going to strain it, and we'll show you that later. Okay, so we've got our schmaltz kind of cooking away. It's been cooking for probably about a half hour, 40 minutes, and you can see, hopefully you can see this, but it's kind of rendered off a bunch of liquid here, and then the little meat pieces or fat pieces, skin pieces, are starting to kind of crisp up and kind of lose a lot of their ability to give off any fat. You could let this go probably another half hour and try to get a little more. This is pretty good for me, unless you have time to sit around the stove all day and watch this and keep an eye on it and strain it. You can do that. But this is good for me. I've got a lot out of there. There's probably an eighth a cup out of there. And we're just going to strain that now. So I'm just going to show you what we got. We just have a stainless steel bowl set here with a kind of a mesh strainer. It's not super fine. The finer the better. Mine's not super fine that I use for this, but it's fine for me. And we're just going to take it off the heat, and I just use a spoon here just to keep any bits from, crashing in. And basically just going to run this through that strainer. Just pour that in there. And then I just let it kind of come to room temperature or cool down a little bit before I pour it into a container and keep it in the refrigerator. So these little bits here, if you got a dog, dogs love this stuff. Cats probably too if your cat eats that kind of diet, but you could certainly feed that to your animals. You could even cook those even longer and crisp them up and add them to salads. Nice crispy fat pieces, almost like a chitterlin or something like that. But they're great to eat too. So then there you see, we just have our schmaltz, about an eighth a cup or so, nice golden clear, and that's it. So that's schmaltz making.